Hello and welcome to War Thunder. I am Old Dead Man, your host for today. This replay has been provided by my good friend Eagle Descent. And in this one, he not only does he kill a lot of things with the Flak 88 flak truck, but in the end, the whole match ends up being turned around. It goes very poorly at first, but then over time, as you watch the tickets, it's just right at the very end, they manage to turn it around and hold it right up to the last second and finish off the match. Admittedly, you get plenty of time to watch the high-speed maneuvering of the Flak 88. However, it does get into a good position. Eagle does a good job here of spotting enemies that I personally would not have even seen. That tree, however, was a major enemy and it had to be taken down right off the bat, or who knows where it might have left him. Right here, he experiences a series of ricochets. I wouldn't say they're bad shots per se, just the locations that he is working on do not, he's not in a good position for a lot of these shots. They're at bad angles, etc. Now, he did set 6 Hail on fire there, and that was a good shot on his part. Too bad he couldn't follow up on it. However, he makes up for it with this lovely shot right into that KV-1. Pretty sure somebody else killed that target right before he managed to get his shot off. One of the things that I am amazed at is the number of shots where the person who is taken out has no indication it's coming, as far as I can tell. They haven't seen any other targets, or perhaps in this case he was looking at multiple targets and was unable to engage them. This right here, perfectly side shot engaging this target. He may not have even realized that that was happening with the airplane coming out on him as well. On maps with a single cap, flanking the enemy's position is almost trivially easy as long as the other team doesn't get the exact same idea. In this case, it seems like the other team was not did not have a lot of flankers, or those that were had already been taken out. But if you look at the numbers, the teams are relatively, well, they're about the same number of people on both sides, and yet the other team has got the position. They've got the cap. They are easily bleeding this down. It really, at this point, looks like it's a loss in the making. They're not really. They've really got this thing sewn up from all indications. However, with an unprotected flank, things like this happen. that KV would have been a tremendous asset to have on the field in the late match. And yet here Eagle just takes it right out with a single shot. Again, it seems like never even saw it. And it just this match made me realize how many of those types of things happen. Admittedly, a lot of them happen to me. So it really put me in mind that you need to be watching, you need to be looking, you need to be glancing around, checking where you're going, and if there's anything around you. For instance, there was an SPAA in this area just a little bit ago, a friendly one, and he's gone. So that means there are probably other enemy targets nearby. Now our team has just managed to start the cap. They're actually on it and getting it captured. Spoiler alert, it will be lost pretty quick. I understand the temptation to try and take out an airplane with main cannon. I really do. I admit I've done it maybe once, but I've never really practiced for it. That said, the BF-109 takes out the PE-8, and at this point it's just target practice for the fun of it. Now I brought up this SPAA for a couple of reasons. He is engaged by an aircraft, but he doesn't panic. He immediately begins working on bringing his gun to bear. He's stationary, and I brought this mainly because this is the condition he'll be engaging our hero in just a minute or two. However, this is also an awesome shot. I thought it was amazing. Good job to the driver of this SPAA. Now at this point, Eagle is getting distracted by other things, and understandably so. However, his opponent is bringing his gun to bear and is in a better position. Eagle does see it coming. Unfortunately, he's not able to engage before the ZIS-43 just rips him to shreds. That's another good shot for him. So Eagle comes back in the classic Panzer IV F2. And as you can see, the enemy team has the capture point again. And again, the numbers are almost matched. There's a couple more on our team, but they still have the advantage. Really, it's a hard-fought match, and you can see both the enemies and the friendlies are being taken out as you watch the map in the bottom right corner. This is a tooth and nail match, really a nail biter. Eagle's seen the T-34. The unfortunate disadvantage for the T-34 here, of course, is going to end up being gun depression. But Eagle's sharp eye, first shot, good job. He actually took out I believe the gunner and the turret ring, as I recall. Second one was a ricochet, but this one right here, nice shot trap. Bing, gone. Fine gunnery. That's another big loss for the enemy team. Having a major asset like a heavy tank like that taken out, this is a bad time for it. Now the T-34, I didn't see it right over the edge of the ridge, but obviously he had a good view. But this is the point at which the match changes. This ricochet alone, I think, did it for, I call this the turning point. Yes, he was on the cap point. Yes, it was in process of being captured, but the fact that he did not take out Eagle at this point means that the enemy team is now in an uphill battle for the last few tickets. Ultimately, this is the turning point of the match. This next engagement, I think, bears some real examination. They see each other. First shot goes to Eagle. However, the return shot from him is devastating. Unfortunately, he does not capitalize it. He actually hits the track several times. And this really, in the end, costs him. He puts out his fire rather than waiting for the shot. Again, if he had taken that shot before, he might have managed to pull it off before Eagle could return fire. But, oh, it was so close. It could have gone either way, just based on a few millimeters of difference in height and where shots have been placed, etc. Real tight one here. At this point, it's a foregone conclusion, which just seems odd. Just a few minutes ago, you'd have said it was a foregone conclusion for the other team. They had all the advantages in their favor. They had the cap. They were draining points like crazy. And yet here we are, just a couple minutes later, and it's totally turned around. They've got one, maybe two left. Now, if you notice that SPA go past, the fact that he did not engage the SPA will cost him. At this point, the SPA has taken out his cannon breach, which has taken him effectively out of the fight. Another good shot by Eagle. There we go, another major asset that even at this late stage in the game could have turned the tide. But he was taken out, and I'm going to put it straightforward. The SPA took him out. The Whirlwind did the work. Now, kudos to this gentleman right here. He kept trying right up until the end. He was bringing in every heavy tank he could get his hands on, and really good on him for keeping at it. That's really impressive. However, shot trap. And at this point, that's the end of the match. They don't spawn anything further, and who would blame them? At this point, the enemy team is large enough and strong enough, you just can't do anything about it. Thank you, by the way, to Eagle for sending me this out, Eagle Descent specifically. It was a good match to analyze and watch, and I really appreciate it. Here's the final stats for Eagle. He got 9 tank kills, an assist, and a cap. Good job.